Hey guys, welcome back to Storytime. Gryphon with you here, gonna hang out, spend some time with you today. Hope your day's going great. Hope everything about your day is just fine and pleasant and wonderful, and that you've had lots of food and noms. I don't know about you, but noms, they always make me happier. You know, it's a great way to take your mind off things when things are going wrong, but hopefully they're not. Hopefully everything's good. Over here, of course, we are joined by our hero Tumble, who is, actually in kind of a weird state today because he had a bit of a shock when he woke up. And that was this. When he looked over at his ship, he got up and yawned and stretched and went to look at his ship, and it appeared to him that there's no fuel in it. Now that's rather strange because, oh, I didn't know you could do that. That might be new. I think it is. He swears to heavens that this was full of gas. And so we went to put more gas in it, and it didn't accept it. It wouldn't accept the fuel. So, wandering around a bit, we noticed that there is no more fuel on the planet. You can't dig hydrazine anymore. It's all gone. It's been replaced with ammonium. Turns out that Fluster's little reality has been updated once again while he was asleep, and now fuel for the ship is something that you have to refine with a new machine. There's a new machine we have to get. So this is kind of bad news for Tumble because it means that he just has more work to do, but it's good news for us because it means that we will get to see more of Fluster and do more episodes with Fluster in Storytime. So that's cool. Right now, though, he's got to get to work because the machines we got to make, the new ones, all take copper, and we still have to store up copper so we can leave. And, well, basically right now we're stranded here anyway because there's no fuel in that ship. It won't go anywhere. Oh, and there's a new, when you refine fuel or get fuel, it doesn't just make a canister. You actually have to forge the canisters yourself and use them, and they're reusable now. So you put stuff in them, and then you can use them up, and then you have to go fill them back up. So that's going to be a thing. But first, before we do any of that, we have to get copper. We need a lot of copper. And the place to do that is over here. Well, one of the places, because we got a bunch of lithium over here, and lithium is valuable shit. So we're gonna dig this up and trade it for copper. Or at least for ladder 9 or whatever that stuff is that turns into copper when you refine it. So we're gonna dig that up. Okay. You good, Fluster? Can you handle this? You've had to take on so many roles, haven't you? So many things you didn't expect being a spacefaring and exploring circle. It's a hard life. But it's worth it. Oh wait, are we okay? We're filled up. We need to go dump that stuff off. Alright. We're gonna go dump off the junk we got already, and then get some more, hopefully. Whoop, whoop, whoa, whoa, whoa! God, these things drive. Every time they update this stuff, these vehicles drive worse. Every time. Okay. So we're gonna jump out. We're gonna grab all of the lithium that we took. We're gonna put it, oh man, I need more storage around here, don't I? Well, I'll tell you what. We'll just put them on here because we're about to refine them anyway, so get your butt on there and stop being a douche. There we are. There we go. There we are. Can I get one out of it with just this? Bet you I can. Bet you I can. Maybe not. Maybe not. Ah, got one. Okay. So we'll just use that, won't we? Let's take that and put this in here. Wait a minute. I'm putting these in a smelter. Why am I putting these in a smelter? They do not belong in the smelter. I thought, no, they belong in the trade station. Where is that? Here we go. Okay, now we're gonna see how much copper, or rather laternine, what is it? It's resin, compound, titanium. Nope, hang on. Malachite or laternite. I think it's malachite. Pretty sure it's malachite. Better be malachite. Even though we do need, we also do need 6, 8 malachites. That's good. Uh-oh. Storm coming. Holy crap. We're gonna take shelter and wait for this storm to go by, and then we'll come back. And there goes the storm. All right. Looks like the weather has cleared up, so we're gonna trade these off for 8 malachites. Goodbye. Take off. And I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna be talking about today. This is it's a rather simple subject, and it was suggested to me by one of my patrons, and I thought it sounded like a good idea to talk about. And that is, what life was like before all of the technology, before all of the computers and all of the smartphones and all the things like that. And that's a good subject, and it also leads into, I get to talk about my favorite toy when I was a kid. Because you might find it surprising. But, it's interesting looking back on it, because as life has slowly changed for everyone, you don't really notice how much it's changed until you do start thinking about what it used to be like. And at this point, life, you know, back when I was just growing up, it wasn't harder. And we didn't, there was nothing we really missed because we'd never had it before. It's like we didn't miss having cell phones or iPads because we never had them, so we didn't miss it. You know, it's not like it was, you know, taken away from us and then, you know, given to us again. Hang on. You know, I do need more storage. I'm gonna have to use this. Hang on. Let's grab a couple of compounds and make more storage. Because, yep, wait, well, you know, actually, I could just put this over there. Why don't I just do that? I mean, I have it already. I might as well just drop it. There we go. Okay. Much better place for it. Now I can put these compounds back to where you belong. Here on the compound table. There we are. Okay. Yeah, so we weren't... It's not like we're like, damn, I so long for, you know, being able to order things online. We didn't even know that wasn't even a thing. We didn't even know what it was because it just wasn't, it had never existed. So we didn't miss it. But I will say that though life wasn't inherently harder, it was different. It was totally different. Almost everything you can think of to do, like even simple things, it was all a different procedure. It was different ways of doing things. I mean, and it didn't matter what it was, big or small. You wanna go to the grocery store? It was an entirely different process. You know, you wanted to you wanted to travel somewhere? Entirely different process. You wanted to go to school, get a job? It was just totally a different set of things that you had to do to make these things happen. And that's really the big thing about it is that it wasn't harder. It was just very, very different than now. And as time, you know, slowly changes things, you get used to the new ways and you kind of ditch the old ways. But I will say this, it's not all easier right now. It's just not. It's, oh, by the way, let's look at this, there it is, hydrazine catalyzer. That's what we need. That is a totally new machine that we have to build. All right. So let's go over here and let's build this new machine. And there it is. It's brand new. It just came out. In fact, oh, what is... Okay, I guess that's where you put the stuff in, and then you put the canisters here. Oh. Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, this update happened yesterday, so it's a very new update. We're going to go take off and get the rest, if we can, of this lithium. We might be able to... Oh. Hold up. Don't fall in the hole. God, these things drive piss poor. And they flip too much. Now, even when you get out of them, they flip over most of the time. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait. Do I hear a storm? I don't see a storm. I thought I heard a storm. Okay, I guess not. No, don't you surprise storm on me, okay? Just calm down, game. But, yeah, it wasn't, some things, you know, in the past were easier, and some things were harder. And some things were just not possible. Of course, there's things that you could do then that aren't possible now, and that's just the way it is. But, you know, basic electronics, the electronics were really... Oh man, there's not enough. Really? Aw, that makes me sad. Now we gotta go looking for more. There weren't very many electronics. Electronics were very, very sparse. Anything that was considered an electronic device was rather, you know, sparse in your common American home back when I was growing up. And in fact, you had the TV, you'd probably have some kind of, you'd have a stereo record player. Usually the record players had radios in them. Oh, there was a storm, it just was over there. So, radios were definitely electronic devices, so were TVs. Telephones were completely mechanical. I mean, they ran on electricity, but there were no electronics, there were no chips, there was no programming in them. They were just run off of pure mechanics. And, okay, now, turn around and do what I tell you. There, see, even the old pits where I dug up some hydrazine, it now says ammonium. There's another one over here. Somewhere. I saw it before. There was a nice pit of ammonium. And I want it. Where is it? Give to Sergal. Uh-huh. I think this is it. That's the stuff. Right there. Alright. So, now we gotta dig this up. Ah, look at this. They're balls. That's new. Wait, that storm's not coming back. Okay, good. Just wondering about that. Let's get ourselves some what will become fuel here. We can use our new machine. Is there any more? I have it all. I want it all, and I want it now. But yeah, so it wasn't, I thought game had crashed there. So yeah, it wasn't hard, it was just very, very different. And if you wanted a job, right now you get on Craigslist or you go somewhere. In fact, it's impossible to, you know, almost fill out an application and turn it in like you used to be able to do. That was just not a thing. You can't do that now. It's usually some anonymous, oh, I need canisters. It's some anonymous company that puts their thing out. Most of the time, they don't even tell you what the job is anymore. They just say, yeah, we need somebody for a job, and we're not going to tell you what it is, but there's a job, and just give us your info, and we'll just go ahead and consider you. And you don't even know what the job is anymore. It's nuts. But if you wanted a job earlier, back when I was growing up, well, you generally looked in the paper. There would be, where is it? It's new. Come on, tank, power cell, small battery. There's a lot of stuff. Tethers, canister. That was it. Okay, build a canister. Oh, it takes power now to do that. It didn't used to take power to do that. Uh-oh. We're gonna have to keep that in mind. We're gonna build ourselves 4 canisters. And we're gonna put them over here. All right. Okay, oop, no. Get rid of that. What are you doing? Okay, there we go. Like, for instance. Oh, well, and like I said earlier, you know, you had the TV, radio. I think we had 8 tracks. I think we had 8 tracks when I was little. I'm not totally sure about that, but I think we did. And no, everything was just different. The entertainment was different. Reading material was far more abundant back then. I mean, it was a big thing. Reading was a big thing. You know, the morning paper. Everybody read the morning paper. Everybody read magazines. They were all over the place. Now, what's wrong with this thing? Okay, it's fully charged. Do I have to have something in every one of these to be able to make it go? Oh no, it's just I need canisters. Now will you go? Oh, now it will go. I want to put one here too. Here. Put a canister here. Bonk. There we go. Now, apparently this will make gas. Scrunch. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's cool. All right. Check that out. It's a little harder. It's a little more of a challenge to fuel your ship, but that's still pretty cool. I'm gonna go over here and try my best to, let's see if we can fuel up the ship now. If we can't, if there's a glitch and we can't fuel up the ship, then we're doomed. Oh, look at that. Oh, but that's almost all of it. That's the whole tank. Seriously? All right. So apparently you can put a lot more in a tank now, or in these canisters. That's pretty easy. Okay. I filled up the whole thing. Damn. All right. Well, we'll put this one over here somewhere in storage, in case we need it later. Wow, that wasn't hard at all. I expected we were gonna have to do that several times. Okay. So basically, if you wanted to do something fun, if you wanted to play, what you had to do, since there were no video games, there were very few electronic entertainment. Uh-oh. Are you coming after me? Are you going another? Okay, you're going another way. You better just stay on that path. We're gonna go look for some more valuables to dig up, because we got to get more copper and a slightly bit more aluminum. What is this? Is this more ammonium or fuel? Yeah, it is. Okay. People went out and they took up a hobby. They would play tennis, or they would go on camping trips, or they would read a lot of books. A lot of people read books. The books were big. Oh, there's some resin. We need a lot of that. Let's go ahead and put our butts down here and grab this shit. Yeah, we read a lot of books. We did watch TV. TV was big. Everybody watched the news on TV all the time, and we watched TV channels, we watched cartoons, and we watched whatever programming they had. They had talk shows. They had soap operas were big. Way big in the 70s. But electronic gadgets, we didn't have a whole lot of that. We just, there weren't many of them, and we didn't need them. At least we didn't think we needed them. But, like I said, some things were easier and some things are harder between then and now. For instance, then. Okay, let's talk, you know, 70s, we're talking. Say you want... Oh, is there more? That looks like... No, that's ammonium. Oh, it looks a lot like resin, unfortunately. Say you wanted to take a trip. Say you wanted to fly to I don't know, from Dallas to Chicago, right? Well, that's pretty easy. All you have to do, it literally, I mean, you could get the phone book, and you could call up a travel agent. A lot of people did that because they could usually get them the best price. However, what most people did was you could walk into the airport, into the physical airport, go up to the desk and say, I want a ticket to Chicago. And they would say, okay, that'll be this much money. Next flight is at whatever o'clock. There you go. You're on your way to Chicago. I mean, that's as simple as that was. You could just walk in there and be like, I want to go here. They'd be like, okay. And you wouldn't even have to go through security. You just walk. Oh, you're still doing that, are you? I kind of hope they'd fixed that. And yeah, there you go. You're on your way. No security. You just walk through, and off to your gate. And even your family could come back there with you and see you off. They didn't have to. You know, there wasn't any kind of thing where it's like, oh no, you can't have to go through TSA, blah blah blah. No, it was very easy to travel. A lot easier to travel. And that was one thing that was easier back then. Now, one thing that was harder back then is, imagine you want to watch a video, okay? Imagine you want to watch a movie. In the 70s, you were boned. You can't do that. Unless it was currently playing at a theater that you could get to, you weren't going to see it. You may like a movie and be like, man, I'd love to see that movie again. If it's not on in a theater, or in the rare instances that sometimes the television networks would have, they would play like, you know, the Saturday night movie and the Sunday night movie, and they would get movies that had already been on at a theater and now were cheap to be able to play. They would sometimes play them, but it was at their discretion. You didn't decide that. So if you wanted to watch a video or see something over again that you saw on TV or you know, a film, no, that was not possible. That was not going to be a thing at all, period, until the VCR finally came out, and then people could do that. So that's one of the things that was a lot harder. It's just you didn't even expect to be able to do that. It was like that just was not a thing. Oh, I'd like to see a movie. Why can't I? No. It's just, sorry, that's not available. That reality is not here. And we had to wait for that. We didn't know if there'd ever be a day when that would happen. We didn't even really think about it. But yeah, so that's something about now that's a lot easier than it was back then. Is being able access to media, to the media that you want to see. Now we did have records, and like I said, I think we had 8-track tapes, so you could listen to whatever music you wanted to when you wanted to. However, movies, no. Videos, no way, no how. Until the first VCRs came out, and those became commercially available. So everything that we did back then, I mean, if you took somebody from when I was first born, or when I was younger, and you put them now, they would not be able to function. They would not be able to function at all. They wouldn't know how to do anything, because it's just so very different. Every little thing, going to the grocery store, shopping for a new mattress, getting a job, calling the police, reporting an emergency. Everything was absolutely different. There was no 911 when I was a kid. You had to know the number to your local police station. You had to have it. We used to have these little pads that we would stick on the wall that contained important numbers. The fire department, the police, in case we needed them, and other important numbers that we might want to get a hold of. We had it right there, usually on a sticky pad on the wall, right by the phone. You know, I'm neglecting something here. I'm neglecting the fact that ammonium is now tradable. you didn't used to be able to trade fuel, but you can trade ammonium. Hang on a minute. Let me see how much I can get for this stuff. Because I want to see if I can put this on the trading ship and actually trade it for copper and or aluminum. How valuable is this stuff? We don't even know. I'm gonna find out. Come on, give me one more at least. Give me at least one more. Oh, come on. I know you're down there. Give it to me. Well, maybe I can get 5 out of it. Maybe. No. Wait. Nope. Nope. And I just made a fine hole in the ground. Okay. So I think I might be able to trade this stuff for copper. And if I can, that'll be great because as you guys have seen as I've been roaming around and passing all of it up, there is very little limit to the amount of ammonium on this planet now that they switched over. Anyway, I wanted to mention this briefly before I go. Back in those days, like I said, people read a lot. People watched TV. There's a lot of things we did, you know, and when you're a kid back then, you know, you only had so many toys. There's only so many things you could play with because there wasn't this big variety. I mean, board games, yeah, okay, there were board games for kids, and some of them were pretty decent. And you had ABC blocks and you know, Lincoln Logs and Legos and you know that stuff. So can I trade this? Can I trade this for malachite at all? Or is it just, oh, I can. I can. Awesome. Go! Bye-bye, woman. Okay. So, yeah, my favorite toy, my father was into electronics, even though back in that point they were very basic. He knew how to solder, he knew how to put the basic components together. He could fix a TV, he could build a transistor radio, which by the way, transistor radios were amazing back then. And so he decided to get this board. Now, kids have their own words for things. You know, kids invent words for stuff. I don't know why. Some of the words that I made up, I made up. I don't know why, but apparently they made sense in my brain. For instance, popsicles. I called popsicles whappics. They were whappics. Fingers and toes they were all mimos. And he built me a toy, and it was a board. It's just a plain yellow pine board that was, I'd say, about 20 inches square. And on that board, he put, oh, that's coming after me. I'm going over here. I'm gonna wait this storm out and I'm gonna finish telling you what I was telling you. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Ooh, this looks like a mean one. Bye-bye, storm, you suck. Anyway, on this board, my father put together, he soldered together and just put together all of these simple, god damn it, go forward, stupid car, what is wrong with, okay, we'll get out here and we'll take all this shit. He soldered together all these simple components, these little simple things. They weren't complicated. They were like, one of them was this circle of lights. It was, I think they were LEDs, and one would light up at a time, and they went around in a circle. They just went around the circle, and there was, you push the button, and they would start up, and then they would, you could, there was a little knob that you could turn that would make them go faster or slower. And then there was another thing on there that just, it was a strobe light, and there were 3 different buttons, and depending on which one you pushed, it would go, they would flash faster or slower. There was a little motor on there that I suspect he got out of an 8-track player, and it was a little motor with a little spoke on it, and you push the button and the motor would spin. And I used to put things on that. I'd put pieces of paper, pieces of cardboard, and I just stick them on there and spin them. And there was a little LED thing that would, you know, there was 9 different buttons, and it would display the numbers 0 through 9, depending on which button you pushed. And it was all just sort of nailed to this board. And I called that toy, I called it a Pack-a-Punch. That was my Pack-a-Punch. And it was my favorite toy for years and years and years. As a kid. So, I guess, I don't know, maybe you guys can see now how when, even as old as they were, when the old video games came out, how magical they were, because nobody had ever seen anything like it before. And now it's funny because electronics are, they're just taken for granted. They're not a thing. They're everywhere. They're in our normal everyday lives. Whereas electronics back then, they were special. They were something that you didn't see them too often. They came around, and when they were good, man, they were awesome. It's like, wow, isn't this a damn miracle that we have this thing now? It just doesn't seem like that doesn't really happen anymore. Okay, hang on here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to ask for ladernite, which is stuff I need for aluminum. 1, 2, that's what I need. Bye-bye. And the rest of this, I'm going to put in this condenser over here. Where? Oh, 2 of the, hang on. What happened to the okay. There's 1 container I have over here. Oh God, do I have to make more containers? You know what, I'll tell you what. I'm just going to put this stuff in here. I don't need to make the containers yet because I don't need to refine it yet. And if I do, I'll bring back some containers and fill them up. For now, we're good. Guys, I think maybe, perhaps, possibly. Oh, we do need a bit more. That's what we can get. We can get more resin. Oh, hi, you're back. Good. And here, and we will just put these over here. Oh dear. Yep, that's actually perfect. So, go ahead and just do that. And 1, and 2. And a dipsy doodle do. Alright, so we have everything we need right now, including a full tank to go to the exotic planet and set up a base there. Well, actually we don't. We do need 3 more resins. We're gonna deal with that in the next episode. I'm sure we can get it because we still have more ammonium over here we can trade in. That's not a problem. But anyway, yeah, guys, that's what it was like growing up without all the technology. It was a lot simpler, it was a lot less complicated, but at the same time, it was a lot less convenient. There were a lot of things that you just couldn't do so easily. There were things that you could do a lot more easily. I don't know. If I was to say which I preferred, which kind of lifestyle I preferred, I would have a hard time actually making that determination, because there were so many benefits of living without the technology, but there are also so many benefits of living with it. It's just, I don't know if there was a better or worse. It was just very different. And if some of you out there are older, you can tell us some stories of you know, what it was like when you were a kid and there was very little technology, or you know, express your opinions on the new technology, and maybe give us ideas of what you think it was like when it was, you know, in the older times, if you weren't alive during that period. But either way, talk back to me. I love reading your stories and your comments. And until next time, guys, do take care.